Alright guys, so good morning. Today now, in our last class we look at question number 3. So today we are moving to question number 4. And the question states that a student measures a piece of rope and found that it was 1.26 meter long. If the actual length of the rope was 1.25 meter, what was the percentage error in the measurement? What was the percentage error in the measurement? So how do we go about this? So if you look at this topic now, you guys will see that it is under percentage error. So looking at percentage error as a topic, that is what we are going to start with this morning. And let's see how far we can go, and then we are going to look at the topic that will enable us to touch other areas of percentage error, so down to rate. So we're going to look at the topic ratio, proportion, and percentage. Ratio, proportion, and percentage. So that is, we're going to take the topic from where we are currently down to the aspects of sales, and we'll wrap it up by looking at simple interest. Yeah, so that's what we're going to use to wrap it up. Simple interest. Alright, so without any further ado, let's get started now. So the topic is ratio, proportion, and percentage. Okay, so are we together, guys? If I'm asking a question, please always try to quickly respond. Okay. Alright, so can you guys hear me clearly now? Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Horace, unmute your mic and talk very clearly so that we know you are with me. So this network issue, so I don't know if you can still see the screen, if you can hear. So what I'm trying to, please don't just let it be a factor that I'll just keep repeating. So you respond very fast. Okay. So we're going to talk about ratio, proportion, and percentage. So when you say ratio, what exactly are we talking about? Ratio means the combination of numbers with the same units in their simplest form. When you are combining numbers with the same unit in the simplest form. For example, if I have 25 to 10, I can write this in the simplest form as 5:2. Are you getting it now? So since 5 goes in both sides. So ratio can also be regarded as the result obtained when a number is divided by another. Ratio can also be regarded as the result obtained when a number is divided by another. For example, if I say 25 divided by 10, 25 divided by 10 is going to give me 5/2, which I can write as 5:2. Is that okay now? So that's what we refer to as ratio. So in a nutshell, when you talk about ratio, we are talking about combination of numbers with the same units in their simplest form. or you said what? The ratio of the division of one number to another. Those are the things we refer to as ratio. So let's take a look at this example. Express, if I say express a length of 8 centimeter, express a length of 8 centimeter as a ratio of 3 meter. As a ratio of 3 meter. So look at this question now. We are asked to express a length of 8 centimeter as a ratio of 3 meter. I'm coming. Let me be sure that the class is being recorded. Okay, so it is. All right. So for you to be able to look for this, if you look at this now, like I defined earlier, they must be of the same unit. 8 centimeter as a ratio of 8 meter is not the same thing as you saying 8 centimeter divided by 3 meter. This would be wrong. So the first thing is for you to convert this 3 meter to centimeter, or you have to convert this 8 centimeter to meter. So if I convert 3 meter to centimeter, I will have this to be 8 centimeter divided by 300 centimeter. So that centimeter can cancel what? Centimeter. Then you have that 8 centimeter divided by 3 meter is going to be 8 goes okay, let me break it down. So if I break 8 centimeter to 300 centimeter, so that will give me 2/75. So since 4 can go in 8 2 times and 4 in 300 is 75, so I have that this is given as 2:75. Are you getting this now? So this is what we refer to as a ratio. Please class, do you understand what they call ratio now? Alright, so if that is clear, let us get what we call proportion. Proportion. So when they say proportion, what exactly are they implying to? Proportion. Proportion means the part taken by a quantity. The part taken by a quantity. The part taken by a quantity. That's what we refer to as a proportion. The part taken by a quantity in the total value. In the total value. For example, if I give you that A ratio B is equal to 3:7. So the part in A is 3 out of the total of 10. Is 3 out of the total, which is 10, that is 3 plus 7. Okay, so the portion of A is going to be 3 out of what? 10 multiplied by the total, and that of B is going to be 7 out of 10 multiplied by the total. So we have that T is the total. So let me break this down so that you just understand this. When somebody say proportion, what it means is that what is your own proportion? That is, what amount are you taking out of this? For example, if I have let's say I have 10 something, and I said A and B, they are in ratio 3:7. If A and B are in ratio 3:7, what it means is that the part that A is taking out of what? The total of 10 is going to be 3. and the part that B is also taking out of the total is going to be what? Is going to be 7. For you to understand what I'm saying, let's say I have 20 oranges. If I have 20 oranges and I say it's to be shared between A and B, A 3:7. So what this simply means is that if I have this orange and I split it into 10 places, A is to pick 3 and what? B is to pick what? 7. So dividing 20 into what? Into 10 places. It means that you are having what? You are having 2 each. That is, if I have 20 oranges, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. If I ask you now that what? You should share it in the ratio 3:7. 3:7, it means if you 3:7 is going to be 3 plus 7, that's 10, isn't it? It means that you should divide these 20 oranges into 10 places, and that will mean that you are having it 2 each. So 2 each, that's what it means. So if A is to what? Is to take 3. So 3 portion out of this is going to be 1, 2, 3. So that means that A is having 6 oranges and B is going to have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So B is going to have what? 14 oranges. Do you understand that now? Please give that explanation clearly. Do you get it clearly? I can't hear you guys. Maybe your mic is too low, but I want to assume that you understand what I've explained there. Alright? So we move to the next one. Let's take for instance that you have interpreted the ratio completely. So if you want to write down, instead of in terms of the total, you are going to be having what? A and B written in form of what? In terms of the order. For example, if I have A ratio B equal 3:7. So you can interpret it as saying that A over B is equal to 3/7. Therefore, 3A is equal to, therefore 7A is going to equal to 3B. Or you say 3B equal what? 7A. So the value of A is going to be 3B all over 7. Or you say the value of B is going to be 7A all over 3. So that is if you have what? Interpret it completely. So let's take an example on that so that we can understand. If a question says that divide a line of length 60 centimeter into 3 parts, whose ratio are 3:7:10. So if you look at this now, we have to divide a line of length 60 centimeter into 3 parts, whose ratio are 3:7:3. So let's take it like this. Let's say let the parts so let the part be A, B, and C. So if I have the part as AB and C, the total ratio is going to become 3 plus 7 plus 10, and that will give us 20. So what will be the portion of A? The portion of A is going to become, since A is the first one, that will be 3. So 3 all over 20 multiplied by the total, whereby the total is what? 60. So you are going to add A to be 9 centimeters. Then B is going to be 7 all over 20 times 60. That will be 21 centimeters. And C, that will be 10 over 20. So multiply by 60, that will give us 30 centimeters. So you can see now that if you have to divide the line into 3, then you are going to have 19 centimeter. You are going to have 21 centimeter, and the third portion is going to be what? 30 centimeters. So by the time you add everything together, you must have what? The total length of the line. So that's that about proportion. So we can also take another example on this so that you get it clearly. So let's take another example. Okay. So look at this now. We are told that the side of a triangle, are in ratio. The side of the triangle are in ratio 4:7:8, and its perimeter is 38 centimeter. Its perimeter is 38 centimeter. So the question states that find the sides. Okay, so how do you find the sides? We have it to be 4:7:8, isn't it? So the first thing you want to do is to find what? The total ratio. So what will be the total ratio, guys? It's going to be what? 4 plus 7 plus 8. So that will give us that should be 19. Okay, so the first side, that is side 1, that will be 4/19 multiplied by 38, because the perimeter is given as what? 38. That's the total side, and this will just equal to 19 year 1, 19 year 8. So 4 times 8, that will give us 8 centimeter. Then side 2 will be, that will be 7. What do you say? I can't hear you clearly. Okay, so 7. Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry. I think there's a mistake here. This is supposed to be 2. So 4 times 2 is 8. Thank you. So 7 over 19 multiplied by 38. So this will also give us 2. So 7 times 2, that's 14 centimeter. Then we have that side 3 will be 8 all over 19. That's multiplied by 8 over 19 multiplied by 38. So that will give us 16 centimeter. And you just to see that when you add 8 centimeter, 14 centimeter, and 16 centimeter together, then you have the perimeter of the triangle. Is that taken now? Okay, so let's move on to the aspect of percentage. Okay, so when you talk about percentage, what does percentage simply mean? So when you say percentage, percentage means the proportion of quantity as a fraction of 100. The proportion of quantity as a fraction of 100. So when you say percentage, this is what percentage simply means. So it means that you interpret as a ratio of quantity multiplied by what? 100. So let me say express. So if the question says express 2 as a percentage of 5. So if the question says express what? 2 as a percentage of 5, what it simply means is that 2 ratio 5, that is 2 divided by 5, multiplied by 100 over 1. And this will just give us 40%. Do you get that now? So this is going to be 40%. That is 40% of 5 is going to give us 2. Okay? I hope you understand this now. So now that we have understand what we call ratio, proportion, and percentage, now let us now look into application of ratio and proportion. When this comes to the application of ratio and proportion, we do this when we are sharing items. So ratio and proportion deals with the sharing of items. So when you are sharing items, we use this particular aspect of mathematics to carry out such a operation. So let's look at JAMB questions on it. 1979 question number 8. 1979 question number 8. The question says that the annual profit of a transport business were divided between the two partners, A and B, in the ratio 3:5. If B received 3,000 more than A, the total profit, was A, 5,000 naira, B, 18,000 naira, C, 12,000 naira, D, 24,000 naira, E, 8,000 naira. Alright, so I want you to look into this now and let's see how we can solve this particular question. Now we are told that the annual profits of a transport business, guys, please, are you with me? Okay, the question says that the annual profits of a transport business were divided between the two partners A and B in the ratio 3:5. If B received 3,000 naira more than A, the total profit was, so who can give us a try on that? Can you try that? I'm waiting. Please give it a try.
12,000.
12,000 naira. Okay, is there anybody that go against him? Class, do we all agree with him that it's 12,000 naira? Okay, so we don't hear from others. Okay, that's correct. So if you don't know how he got it, should we look at the solution together? Please, are you the only one in the class? Is there any issue with other people's mic? Like Adekunle, Nuhu, are we having issue with our mic?
Yeah, speaking, sir.
No, sir.
So why can't we just speak up? Is it we're having, I'm asking question. Is it correct he has an answer to the 12,000 naira? Is it correct? Yes.
Yeah.
Do you all know how he got the 12,000 naira?
Well, let's do it.
Okay, so let's look at it together then. Okay, so you have that A ratio B is given as 3:5, isn't it? So the first thing you look for is the total ratio. So the total ratio is going to be 8, isn't it? So now let's say that the profit that they make, let the profit be X naira. That's the profit that they make. So the portion of A is going to be 3/8 multiplied by what? Multiplied by X naira. So we don't know what it is, but we know it's going to become 3x naira divided by 8. That will be the portion of A. Then the portion of B is going to be 5 all over 8 multiplied by X naira, which is also going to be 5x naira all over 8. Now the question now states that if B received 3,000 naira more than A, so if B received 3,000 naira more than A, what it simply means is that for you to get the amount earned by B, that is 5x naira over 8 is equivalent to 3x naira over 8 plus 3,000 naira. That is what it means. So if this should be the case now, all we need to do here is to find the LCM. But instead of finding LCM here, let us take this one to the other side, whereby we are going to have 5x naira divided by 8 minus 3x naira divided by 8, and that will equal to 3,000 naira. So we are looking for the value of x. So looking for the value of x. So looking for the value of x now, we have that 5x minus 3x, that will give us 2x over 8 equal 3,000 naira. So cross multiply, you have if you cross multiply, you have 2x to equal to 3,000 naira multiplied by 8. So for that reason, you have that dividing both sides by 2, this one is going to give us 24, right? Let me adjust this upward a bit. So this is going to result to x equal 12,000 naira. I hope you understand this now. Do you understand this now? So the correct option there is going to be option C.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Alright? So if that should be the case now, let's take another question. So this question states that three people share an inheritance in the ratio 2:3:4, and the share of the person who receives most is 5,000 naira. Full stop. The share of the person next to him, is 1,250 naira more than the third person. Full stop. So the question is how much does the third person receive? How much does the third person received? So we have that option A is 2,500, option B 2,750, option C 3,600 naira, option D 3,750. Okay, so guys, give it a try and tell us what the answer will be. Are we there?
2,500.
2,500. Do you all agree with him? Hello, do you all agree with him? Nobody's saying anything. Do we all agree with him? Alright. I think the correct answer is that 2,500. So you're correct. 2,500. Do we need to solve it? Okay, so let's solve it for the case of those that will be watching the replay, so that they can understand how we go about it. Okay, so the question is that 3 people share an inheritance in the ratio 2:3:4, and the share of the person who received most is 5,000 naira. So let's go back to the sharing ratio. So the sharing ratio is 2:3:4. Let's say what they share is X. So if that should be the case, the person that received the most, is going to be the person that received the most is going to be 4 divided by 2 plus 3 plus 4. That's 9. That's 9/9. 4/9. Therefore, that means 4/9 times X is equal to 5,000 naira. So cross multiply, we have that 4x is equal to 5,000 naira times 9. So X is equal to 5,000 naira times 9. That's 4,000. That's 45,000 naira. Divided by 4, that will give us 11,250. So if the total money that they are sharing is 11,250, and we are told that the next person to in, that will be 3x, right? So the next person to in is going to be 3x all over 9. So 3x over 9, that's the same thing as saying what? 3 times 11,250 divided by 9. That will give us 3,750. So if the person collects 3,750, and we are told that the third person, the difference between the third person's money and the second person's money is 1,250. So what it means is that if you had 1,250 to the third person's money, your result is going to be 3,750. So that means the third person is going to be 3,750 minus 1,250. That will give you the third person's share, and that will be 2,500 naira. So that's how we go about that. So the correct option there is going to be option A. Okay, so this seems simple, but it can be complicated. That's the essence of we going through it one step at a time. So now let's look at the application of percentage. So we have understand the application of ratio and proportional. So what about the application of percentage? So we apply percentage when we are trying to look at the increase or decrease in something. So if they said percentage increase, let's say I said something increase by 5%. If something increased by 5%, what does it mean? When something increased by 5%, what it means is that the normal percentage is 100. When you add 5 to it, it becomes what? 1 over 5. So percentage increase by 5% is going to be 1 over 5 over 100 multiplied by x. I see this now. And if it is decreased, so decreased by 5% is going to be 95 all over 100 multiplied by x, where x is the total number of what you are talking about. So if I have, let's say I have 20 mangoes, and I said it increased by what? 5%. That will be 105 over 100 multiplied by 20. If it decreased by 5%, that will be 95 over 100 multiplied by what? 20. So that's how to check for percentage increase and decrease. Is that taken now? Alright? So let's take example on that. 1979, question number 44. The question states that the size of quantity first doubles and then increased. It first double and then increases. And then increases by a further 16%. By a further 16%. After a short time, its size decreases. Its size decreases by 16%. What is the net increase? What is the net increase in size? What is the net increase in size of the quantity? Option A, you have 59,300 over 625%. Option B, you have 50,900 all over 625%. Option C, you have 200%. Option D, you have plus 100%. Option E, you have negative 100%. So I'll do the right answer, please. Is anybody there with me? So what's our answer, please? Okay, maybe I should shift it down so that you can see the question. So the question again states that the size of quantity first doubles and then increase by a further 16% after a short time it ceases its size decreases by 16%, what is the net increase in size of the quantity? So what's the answer to that? Any response? So what's the answer, please? And I don't think this question requires more time for you to be looking at it. It's just a straightforward question.
Hundred percent.
Somebody say 100%. Any other person? Do you have any answer that contradicts that? So 100% should be the right answer. So if you look at the question clearly, you are told that something doubled. So when it doubled, it means it increased by 100%. Then it later increased by 16% and then decreased by 16% again. So it's more or less as if nothing happened. So it's just 100%. So it's a very straightforward question. Forget the fact that there are much stories there. But let's take for instance that you don't understand that it's a straightforward question like that and you want to calculate it just the way it is. We are told that the size of a quantity first doubles and then increase by a further 16%. So let's first of all know the quantity itself. So we say let the original size equal to x. So that simply means that x, 100 times x divided by 100, that is 100% of x. That will give us what? So this will give us 100% of x, and then when it's doubled, so when doubled, once, that will be 2x, and that will be 200x all over 100. So you have this one to be 200% of x. Alright? So when increased by 16, when increased by 16%, that will become 216x all over 100. Abi? So, which is the same thing as saying 216% of x. And then when it decreases by 16%. So when it decreases by 16%, you have it to go back to 200x all over 100, which is the same thing as saying 200% of x. So if you look at it now, this is the final value, 200% of x, and this is the initial value. So the net increase, in size, is just going to become 200% minus 100% is going to give us this will be 100 over what? Over 100. For that reason, your result is going to be 100%. So the correct answer there is D, like the person states. I want to believe we understand.
Yes.
Do we understand?
Yes.
Okay, so let's take another question in that vein. So the question says, Father, Father reduced the quantity of food. Father reduced the quantity. Father reduced the quantity of food bought for the family by 10% when he found that the cost the cost of living had increased by 15%. Thus, the fractional increase in the family food bill is now A 1 over 12, B 6 over 35, D C 19 over 360, D 7 over 200, and E 5 over 100. So what will be the right answer? So the question is, Father reduced the quantity of food bought for the family by 10% when he found that the cost of living had increased by 15%. Thus the fractional increase in the family food bill is now what? What's our response? I'm waiting.
Play the question.
This is the question on the screen now. Father reduced the quantity of food bought for the family by 10% when he found out the cost of living had increased by 15%. Thus, the fractional increase in the family food bill is now what?
That's 5/100.
5 over 100. Okay, so let's look at it together. I'm not sure if 5 over 100 is going to be the right answer to that question. So let's see. So let's say that the man is getting X amount of food. Are you getting this now? At Y per unit. So it's getting X amount of food at what? Y per unit. That is, let's say the man is buying 20 oranges and they are selling each oranges by let's say 20 naira each. You know, that will be 20 times 20, isn't it? So the total cost for the man to buy food for the family, the total cost is going to be XY. Abi? So when he reduces the quantity of food he's buying by 10%, that means that X is reduced by 10%. So when X reduced by 10%, we have this to be what? 90X over 100. Just because what? The amount that the rate increased by 15%. So when Y increased by 15%, that will be 115Y divided by 100. Are you following? So now the total cost will now become what? This multiplied by this as at now. So if you have this, the result is going to become that the total cost is now given as 10,350 XY divided by 10,000. Are you getting this now? And this will give us 1.035 XY. Okay, so what's the question? The question now says the increase in the cost. So let's find the increase in the cost. So for us to get the increase in the cost, the initial price, which is XY, so increase in cost is therefore going to be 1.035 minus, sorry, xy minus xy. So that will give us 0.035. So if you have 0.035 xy rather, so that will give us 35 divided by 1000. So 35 divided by 1000, 5 can go here 7 times and 5 can go here 200 times. So the increase is going to be what? 7 all over 200. So that will be the right answer. Option D is the correct answer to the question. I hope everybody understands this.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Alright. Let's look at this particular one. Alright. So let's look at this now. Another question under it. 1991 question number 7. The question states that if 3 gallons, if 3 gallons of spirit, if 3 gallons of spirit containing 20% water are added to 5 gallons of another 5 gallons of another spirit containing 15% water, what percentage of mixture what percentage of the mixture is water? A 2 number 4/5%, B 16 number 7/8%, B 18 number 1/8%, and C 18 number 7/8%. So the question is, if 3 gallons of spirit containing 20% water are added to 5 gallons of another spirit containing 15% of water, what percentage of the mixture is water? So I'm waiting for a response. Oh, huh? Any answer from anybody? So these are questions that you need to master very well. They are very, very simple, but they can be tricky. And the best way I think you can do well in answering all these questions is to know how to interpret very well. Let's take for instance, if 3 gallons of spirit contain 20% of water, so that simply means that what? It is what? 20%. The gallon of water there, the gallon of spirit there is 3, Abi. So 20% of 3. And you have that 5 gallons of another spirit containing 15% of water. So that simply means that 15% of water is contained from 5 gallons. So this will give you what? The total ratio is going to be what? 3 to 5, isn't it? So that will be 8, isn't it? So total ratio is 8. So if that should be the case, what will be the total percentage of water in the gallon in 8 gallons? So we are going to have that 20% of 3, that will be 20 over 100 multiplied by 3 plus 15 over 100 multiplied by 5, and this will give us 60 divided by 100, that's 0.6 plus 5 here 1, 5 here is 20, so that will give us 0.75. So if you add these two together, you therefore have 1.35. So if you have 1.35 gallons, so the percentage of water in 1.35 gallons is going to become, percentage of water in 1.35 gallons is going to be 1.35 all over 8 multiplied by what? 100 over 1. And that will just give us 135 all over 8, and that is 16 whole number 7 over 8%. So it's as simple as that. Okay, so let's look at this now in terms of increments given in salary. So we'll look at another question now, and that has to do with an increment given in salary. Okay, are we together, guys? After getting a rise of 15%, a man's new salary, a man's new monthly salary is 345 naira. How much per month? How much per month did he earn before the increase? Option A, 330 naira. Option B, 396 naira 75 kobo. Option C, 300 naira. Option D, 293 naira 25 kobo. Option E, 360 naira. So how do we go about this? We are told that after getting a rise of 15%, a man's new salary is now 345 naira. How much per month did he earn before the increase? So once you know the previous price is taken per month before the increase, so how do we go about that? We said what? Let the old salary be X. So with rise of 15%, you have that 115x all over 100 is now equal to 345 naira. So what will be the value of x? When you cross multiply, you're going to have that 115x is equal to 345 multiplied by 100. So 115x is equal to 345,000, right? So that's 34,500. So divide both sides by 35,000, divide both sides by 15. So you have x to equal to 34,500 divided by 115. So x is therefore equal to 300 naira. So the man is earning 300 naira before the increment in salary. Okay? So let's take another question. So this particular question states that a worker's present salary is 24,000 naira. 24,000 naira per annum. His annual increment is 10%. His annual increment is 10% of his basic salary. What would be his annual salary? What will be his annual salary at the beginning of the third year? Alright, so the question we have here states that a worker's present salary is 24,000 naira per annum. His annual increment is 10% of his basic salary. What will be his annual salary at the beginning of the third year. So option A, we have 28,800. Option B, we have 29,040 naira. Option C, we have 31,200. Option D, we have 31,944 naira. So when you say basic salary, you're talking about the present salary. So basic salary means the present salary. Don't think it is the salary per month. So basic salary means the present salary, which is 24,000 naira. Okay? So if the annual increments, that is every year, they are increasing it by 10% of its current salary. So 10% of the basic salary is going to be 20% of 24,000. And that will give us 10 over 100 multiplied by 24,000. So that means they are increasing its salary. Its annual increment is, let me just put it here. So annual increment is 2,400 naira. So at the beginning of third year, so that means that every year they are adding 2,400 naira to its salary at the beginning of every year, right? Okay, so let's say currently the man is earning 24,000 naira. So at the beginning of the second year, you are going to add how much to its salary? So its current salary is what? 24,000 naira. That's what it takes this year. So next year, which is going to be the what? The second year, that will be plus 2,400, and that will give us 26,400 naira. So that will be the salary in the second year. So in the third year, remember, it is increased by what? 10% of its basic salary. Since he's currently earning 26,400, so next year, if he's going to collect salary, it's going to be 10% of this particular one here. So 10% of this particular one is going to give us 2,640. So add it to the beginning of the third year. So that will be 26,400 plus 2,640 naira, and that will give you what? 29,040 naira. So that's option B. So that's the amount is going to earn in the third year. So don't make a mistake of adding 2,400 to the first, second, and third. No. For the first year, it's earning 2,400. So that's its basic salary. What is 10% of that? 10% of that is 2,400. That means in the next year, which is going to be the second year, if they are going to add to its salary, they will add 2,400, making its basic salary to become 26,400. So in the third year, that basic salary then is 26,400. 10% of it is what? 2,640. So that means in the third year, that is what they are going to add to its salary. So that will make it 29,040 naira. I hope that is clear enough.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the next question that we are going to look at now under the issue of salary increments is going to be, so once we are able to look at this, we now look at profit and loss. Then we are moving gradually to percentage error. So I'm just trying to pack all these topics together so that we'll not have any issue coming back to the basic again. So we are after that a man is paid Aru Naira. A man is paid Aru Naira per hour for normal work. For normal work. And double rates for overtime. Double rate for overtime. If it does a 35 hours, if it does a 35 hours week, which includes Q hours of overtime, what is weekly earnings in Naira? So we are told that a man is paid Aru Naira per hour for normal work and double rates for overtime. If he does a 35 hours week, which includes Q hours of overtime, what is his weekly earnings in Naira? So we are told that a man, they are always paying him Aru Naira every hour. So if the man do what overtime, they are going to pay him double. I get this now. That is, they are going to pay him 2 hours if he did what overtime. So at the end of a particular week, the man has done what 35 hours of work in that particular week. He worked for 35 hours in that particular week plus his overtime. So what will be the weekly earnings of this man in Naira? So option A, we have R into brackets 35 plus Q. We have B, Q into 25R minus Q. C, we have Q into bracket 35 plus R. And D, we have R into 35R minus Q. Okay? So how can we tackle this? So we need to first of all know that normal work hour, for normal work hour, it is Aru Naira per hour. Then if we did overtime, that's what 2R Naira per hour. So to spend, that is the total time spent to work, is 35 hours. And the overtime is what? Is Q. So what does that mean? For us to get the normal work hour, that will be 35 minus Q hour. So if you want to get the normal time that you used to work, you have to subtract the overtime hour from the 35. So the weekly earning is going to be the normal hour multiplied by what? 35 minus Q. So we have subtracted what? The overtime from it. Plus 2R times Q. You know, if you take Q away from 35, you are going to get what? The normal hour of working, which is multiplied by R, you know what is going to get. Then the extra hour it works, multiply it by 2 hours and add this to what? Whatever result you have here, that will give you what? 35 hours, isn't it? So if that should be the case, R is common. So let's factorize out R. So we have 35 minus Q plus 2Q. So that will give us that R into 35, sorry, our result is going to be R into 35 plus 35 plus Q. And that will be the right answer to the question. So that's option A. So is this clear now? Are we together? I want to believe this is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so let's go into the aspect of profit and loss. Profit and loss.
Yellow.
Not loss, it's supposed to be loss. Profit and loss sales. So when you talk about the profit and loss sales, we have when you are buying markets and when you are selling, it is two things. It's either you run loss or you make gain. When you buy and sell, either you make what? Gain, or you run loss. But we must know what makes you loss and what makes you what? Gain. So we have to consider two things when we are considering profit and loss. We have to consider the cost price and the selling price. Are we there now? So cost price simply means the amount that you buy something. Are you getting it now? The amount you buy it. And selling price means the amount you sold it. Are you getting it now? So what about profits now? Profits is simply talking about the gain that you make when you do what? When you sell something out. So that would be the selling price minus the cost price. And for loss, to calculate your loss, cost price minus the selling price. Are you getting this now? So profit is what? Selling price minus the cost price. Loss is what? Cost price minus what? The selling price. Now what about the profit and loss percentage? So if you want to know the profit percent, how many percent of gain do you have? That will be what? The selling price minus the cost price divided by the cost price multiplied by 100. Multiplied by 100%. Then the lost percent is going to be selling price minus cost price minus selling price divided by the cost price multiplied by what? 100 over 1. So that's how to get your loss and your gain. That is the percentage loss and the percentage gain. All right, and I think we can take a look at some questions here now. Okay, let's take for instance question 1 here. The question here states that a man bought a car for 800 naira. A man bought a car for 800 naira and sold it for 640 naira. Find his loss percent. Find his loss percent. So how do we calculate for his loss percent? So we can calculate for his loss percent by saying what? The loss is going to be the cost price minus the selling price. And that is 800 minus 640. So that will give us 160. So that's what he lost. So the loss percent is going to be loss all over the cost price. So that means we have 160 divided by 800 multiplied by what? 100 over 1. So 0 will cancel 0 here. So we have the loss percent to equal to 20%. Okay? So let's take a look at another one. So we are trying to start from the simple to complex. We are told that a dealer gain gain 4 naira. A dealer gain 4 naira when he sells an article to gain 80%. So the question is, what is the selling price? What is the selling price? Okay, so we are told that a dealer gain 4 naira when he sells an article to gain 8%. What is the selling price? Okay, so we have that
So I'm not hearing anything.
Okay, sorry. Please can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for that. So we have that Audi bought an article for 50,000 naira. Audi bought an article for 50,000 naira and sold it to Femi at a loss of X percent. Full stop. Femi later sold the article. Femi later sold the article to Oche at a profit of 40%. If Femi made a profit of 10,000 naira, find the value of X. A 20, B 40, C 50, and D 60. So the question states that Audi bought an article for 50,000 naira and sold it to Femi at a loss of X percent. First off, Femi later sold the article to Oche at a profit of 40%. If Femi made a profit of 10,000 naira, find the value of X. So how do we go by finding the value of X from this particular question? Okay, so the first thing you should look at is that the amount that Audi bought the particular article, that is the cost price from Audi, that is 50,000 naira. That's the amount he bought the article. So Audi sold it at a loss of X percent. So if Audi sold it at a loss of X percent, that means that the selling price is going to be 100 minus X all over 100 multiplied by the cost price. So if that should be the case now, we have that the selling price is 100 minus X all over 100 multiplied by 50,000 naira. Now let's call this equation star. That's the selling price. That's the amount that what is it called? That's the amount that how do you sell the stuff to Femi. Okay, so if I use this further, I will add that the selling price is 100 minus X times 500. So what I'm doing is that I'm trying to get the amount that Femi bought it. So if I know the amount that Femi bought the article, I'll be able to understand why he makes a 10,000 naira gain. Are you getting it now? So that will let me know what percentage of loss RD is running. So if Femi make a profit of 40%, so Femi profit of 40%, so that will be the selling price is 140 over 100 times the cost price. So for him to have made a profit of 40%, then he must have sell it at this particular rate. So if that should be the case, we can now find the value of x by saying that SP, remember this selling price we have here is the cost price for Femi. So that will be 140 all over 100 multiplied by the cost price for Femi. That's 100 minus x all over 1 multiplied by what? 500. So this and this can cancel. Then I will have that 140 times 5. So that will be 700 into 100 minus x. So this will give us, if you expand the brackets, you have, do we need to expand the brackets? So let's expand the brackets. We are going to add them 70,000 minus 700x. So that's the amount he sells this. So profit made by Femi is now going to be what? So the profit made by Femi is going to be the selling price, which is this, minus the cost price. So I'll be having 70,000 minus 700x, then minus, if you open this one with the brackets, you have 50,000 minus 500x. So the profit is therefore equal to 70,000 minus 50,000, that's 20,000. Then we have minus 200x. If I'm not mistaken. So if that should be the case, the profit is what? Is 10,000 naira. You made a profit of 10,000 naira, right? So we have 10,000 to equal to 20,000 minus 200x. So you have that 200x is therefore equal to 20,000 minus 10,000. So this will give me 10,000. So x is equal to 10,000 divided by 200. So this and this will cancel. So for what's it called? 100 divided by 2, that will give us 50. So it means that Harvey would have sold it for 25,000 naira. So the correct answer to this is going to be option C for those that took the options down before now. Do you understand this? Hello? You don't understand? Okay. So let's take it again if you don't get it. Okay, so listen to the question now. The question states that Audu bought an article for 50,000 naira. So Audu cost price for the article is 50,000 naira and sold it to Femi at a loss of X centimeter. So the loss percent, X percent rather, the loss percent for Audu is X percent. Are you following? Femi sold the article to Oche at a profit of 40%. So when Femi sold it, his percentage gain, that is Femi gain percent, Femi gain percent is 40%. If Femi made a profit of 10,000 naira, find the value of X. So if the gain by Femi is what? 10,000 naira, we have to find the loss percent of what is it called, of Audi. Now you agree with me that if Audi loss, you first of all start by saying the loss percent for Audi is going to be the selling price, loss percent is going to be the cost price minus the selling price divided by what? The cost price multiplied by what? 100 over 1. So that's the loss percent. So let's calculate this now. So loss percent is this. So if you look at this now, if the loss percent is X percent, I want you to pay attention to this now. So this should be X over 100 equal the cost price, which is 50,000 naira, Abi, minus the selling price all over 50,000 naira, which is the cost price. But remember, we don't know the selling price, the amount is sold it to Femi. So cross multiply, we are going to have that 50,000 X, 50,000 what? X, 50,000 X equal to 100 into bracket 50,000 minus what? The selling price. I see this now. So divide those by 100. You therefore have 500x. I see this now. 500x equal 50,000 minus XP. So the selling price, that is the amount that I'll be selling, what is it called? The article is now going to be 500x minus, it's going to be 50,000 minus 500x. Do you understand that now? So taking this one to this and taking this, so this 50,000, 500 is common here, so if I factorize it out, I'll have what? 100 minus x. So that's the selling price. Now, this selling price now, that's the amount that Audu sold the article to Femi. Are you guys following?
Yes, sir.
Now, this selling price for Audu is going to be the cost price for Femi. So that means the cost price for Femi is 500 into 100 minus x. So 500 minus x, 500 into what? 100 minus x. Then Femi gained what? 40%, right? So percentage gain, which is 40%, is equal to selling price minus the cost price all over what? All over the cost price times 100. So this is 40 over 100 equal the selling price. So that is the amount that Femi sold the article to us to Oche. We don't know the amount he sold it. Minus the cost price. But we know the cost price to be what? 500 into 100 minus X. Divided by the cost price, which is also what? 500 into 100 minus X. Am I making sense now? So if this should be the case, if I cross multiply here, I'll be having that. Let me adjust this upward. If I cross multiply, I will have 40 into 500 into 100 minus X all over 100 equal the selling price minus 500 into 100 minus X. So this now will cancel this. I will have 40 times 5. 40 times 5 will give us what? That will be 200, right?
800. Okay, sorry.
That should be 200, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So we have 200 into 100 minus X equal the selling price minus, what is it called? This one is 500 into 100 minus X. So collect the like terms. If you want to come over here, I will have that the selling price is 700 into 100 minus X. So this is the amount that Femi sold it. So if Femi sold for this amount, and if Femi sold for this amount and he makes a gain of 10,000 naira, so the gain for Femi is going to be the selling price minus the cost price. So if the gain is 10,000 naira and the selling price is 700 into 100 minus X minus the cost price. The cost price for Femi is 500 into 100 minus X. So if this should be the case, you have 200 into 100 minus X. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if this should be the case, divide this by 200. So you have what? 10,000 divided by 200 equal 100 minus X. So this and this will cancel. So you have what? 100 over 2. So 100 over 2 will give us 2 here 1. 2 here is going to be what? 2 in 100. That's 50, right? So you have 50 equal 100 minus X. So X is now equal to 100 minus 50. And that will give you what? 50. So that's why we get that the value of X is 50. So it means that Audi would have lost by 50%. Is that taken now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's get another question similar to what we just did. Okay. Alright, so let's take another question now. So another question we want to take here states that by selling 20 oranges, for 1.35 naira, a trader trader makes a profit of 8%. What is his percentage gain or loss if he sells the same 20 oranges for 1.1 naira 10 kobo? A is going to be 8%, B is going to be 10%, C is going to be 12%, D is going to be 15%. So, what will be your answer? They said by selling 20 oranges for 1 naira 35 kobo, a trader makes a profit of 88%. What is his percentage gain or loss if he sells the same 20 oranges for 1.1 naira 10 kobo? Okay, so we can't say he's going to what? He's going to gain or loss until we know the cost price for those 20 oranges. So use this percentage what? Profit. That is the profit he made, profit percent, that will become what? Selling price minus cost price over cost price times 100 over 1. So if the percent is what? If it is 8%, that is 8 over 100. We don't know the selling price, sorry. We know the selling price to be what? 1.35. But we don't know the cost price. So we need to know the cost price now. So that will give us 8 over 100 multiplied by CP plus CP is equal to 1.35. Are you seeing it now? So this is going to give us 108, have you? Okay, so that's 108 all over what? Okay, let me adjust this upward a bit. So we have 108. If you add these two together, you're going to have 108 over 100, and that's equal to 1.35. So if you cross multiply, you are going to have 108 CP equal 135. So CP equal 135 divided by 108. So what's the answer there, please? So the cost price is how much now? Is anybody there with me?
1.25.
So that means the cost price is 1.25. Abi? So if that should be the case, if the cost price is 1.25 and the selling price is what? Is 1 naira, or that's 1.1. That means the selling price is smaller than the cost price. That means it's going to be a percentage loss. Are you getting it now? Since the cost price is greater than the selling price, so it's going to be what? A percentage loss. So we also have that loss percent is going to be the cost price minus the selling price over cost price times 100, and this will give us what our cost price 1.25 minus our selling price 1.10 divided by what? 1.25, and this will give us multiply by 100, and this will give us 12%, if I'm not mistaken. So the percentage loss is 12%, and that's option C. Do you get that now?
Yes, sir.
So before we go to simple interest, okay, let me first of all look at the issue of discount in sales. Discount in sales. Then we'll now look at simple interest and then finish it up with percentage error. Okay, so are we together now? So discount sales. Discount sales. Now, when we talk about discount sales, we are talking about sales that when you want to sell something, you can either sell something in cash or you sell it on an installment. Are you getting this now? So the preference reduction given to the cash sales is called discount. There is preference that you give to what? To a cash sales. Like, okay, if you don't want to buy it now, pay this amount. But if you don't have the money, like you want to pay in cash, like you want to pay for everything now, I can reduce this amount. But if you're not going to pay everything at once, this is what I'm going to sell it. So that preference given to you is what is called discounts. It's always expressed as a percentage of the marked price. Okay, don't worry, I'll give you 10% discount, I'll give you 20% discount, I'll give you 4% discount. Are you getting it now? So for example, if you are selling something for 20 naira, you are selling something for 20 naira, and you are giving somebody a discount of 4%. You are giving what? Somebody a discount of what? 4%. It means you are removing a cash that worth 4%. That is 4% of 20 naira. For example, you are selling something for what? 20 naira. And you are giving somebody a discount of what? 4%. What it means is that you are looking for, you have to look at 4% of 20, and 4% of 20 is going to be what? It's going to be 4 over 100 times 20. So 20 here is 1, 20 here is what? 5. Abi? So that will be so that will be 2 times 4, that's 8, right? That's 8, isn't it? So that means you are removing 0.8 naira. Am I making sense now?
Yes.
So it means you are removing 0.8 naira for that person out of the total price for the market. So it means the person is going to buy it for 20 naira minus 0.8 naira. So what are you going to add like that? You are set to add 19.2 naira. So that is the amount the person is going to pay instead of 20 naira. Are you getting it now? So
Yes.
so for an article that is to be sold by X, you have to sell the article by X naira, and you give somebody a discount of Y%. So that means the selling price is going to be what? Y minus Y% of X. So this is how to calculate for discount. So let's take example on that so that you get to see. Okay, we are told that a trader gives a discount. A trader gives a discount of 12% on the marked price of an article. On the marked price of an article. If a customer pays 1,760 naira for the article, the article, what is the marked price? What is the marked price of the article? What is the marked price of the article? A, you have 88 naira. B, you have 1,748 naira. C, you have 1,772 naira. And D, you have 2,000 naira. So, how do you know what the marked price is? We are told that a trader gives a discount of 12% on the marked price of an article. If a customer pays 1,760 naira for the article, what is the marked price of the article? Who can help us with that? You guys have not been services. Who's helping us with that? What's our answer? I'm waiting. You saw what?
So 1,772.
1,772. Okay, so you should be able to mark yourself if you are right or wrong. 12% of this money is going to be how much? I don't get. So if you look at this now, 12% of a particular amount, let's look at this together so that I'm not going to confuse you or myself. So the cost price, you have the cost price to be X in Naira. You don't know it. Abi? Abi?
Yes, sir.
So, and you are told that the marked price, let's call it MP. Are you following now? The distance is equal to what? The distance given is what? 12%. That is distance, Abi. So if it is distance given, you therefore have that 100 okay, let me take it like this. Let me just take it in a way that you are going to really understand it and be able to digest it. So you are looking for the marked price. If you are going to give somebody discount, the amount the person is going to pay is going to be the marked price minus 12% of the marked price. Am I making sense now? Okay, so if this should be the case now, That means you are going to be adding, let me just say, this is M and this is S, okay? So the cash price is going to be the mark price minus 12 over 100 times MP, that is 12 MP all over 100. So the cash price is going to become 100 MP minus 12 MP all over what? 100. So if the cash price is given as, that is the amount the person paid, is 1760, so this is going to equal to 88 MP all over what? 100. So cross multiply. So when you cross multiply, you have that 88 MP is equal to, okay, sorry, so the mark price is going to be what? 176,000 divided by 88. So 176,000 divided by 88, that will give us 2,000. So the marked price is 2,000 naira. So do you understand that now? Okay, I think. What was the mistake before?
Sir, the formula.
Okay, but we get the formula right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's look at percentage error, which is the actual question that took us down to this place. Now, when we talk about percentage error, why do we have percentage error? We have percentage error because whatever measurement you want to take today, there will always be an error. Are you getting it now? Any measurement you want to take, no matter how perfect you want to claim that you are, there will always be an error. Now, because of this error that we know that there will always be, we now have what we call a range. Like a range of, okay, if you are within this range, we can agree that you are correct to an extent. Are you getting it now? So, but if you go more than that range, then you are wrong. So that's what brings about the concept of percentage error. Okay, so let's look into that. Okay, so I'm trying to clear the board. Yeah. Okay, so percentage error. So when you talk about percentage error, can you hear me, please? Okay. All right. So when you talk about percentage error, we are talking about how to take care of the errors that we might have when we are dealing with measurements. I don't know why my voice is echoing like this. Now, how do we go about it? There is always error in measurements, and that's why we have three things that we have to consider when we are dealing with measurement. Number one is called absolute error. So when you talk about absolute error, how do you understand what we call absolute error? Let's take for instance that you are given the height of the table. The height of a table, let's say it is given as 95.3 centimeter. Please pay attention to this. This is very important because this will come in different ways. If you look at this now, this one is a one decimal place, Abi. Are we together? And now, are you guys there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So when you talk about absolute error, let's get to understand what we mean by absolute error under percentage error. When you are given the length of a table or height of a table to be 95.3 centimeter, you have to understand this that this was done to the nearest one decimal place. So it is to the nearest 1 centimeter, 0.1 centimeter. So when you measure this, when you take this measurement, you can either have what? A smaller value or you have a bigger value. That is a value that is greater than 95.3 centimeter or a value that is less than 95.3 centimeter. Remember, we are told that the actual value is 95.3, and now either you measure it to be less than that or greater than that. But you need to know by how much can it be smaller than it or can it be bigger than it. For you to know that particular value, all you just need to do is to say 0.1 divided by 2. Are you seeing it now? So the actual measurement, which is 95.3, can either be plus or minus 0.1 over 2. Am I making sense now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if you have 0.1 over 2, this 0.1 over 2 is called the absolute error. So the absolute error here is 0.05. Do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Now let's take for instance that the length of the table is something like 26 centimeter. If the length of the table is 26 centimeter, you see that this one is to the nearest whole number. So your answer can either be 26.5 or you have 25.5. Am I making sense now? So since it is the nearest whole number, that means you are what? You are rounding up to 1 centimeter. So for you to know the percentage error, the absolute error rather, you say 1 centimeter divided by 2, and that will give you 0.5 centimeter. So your result is going to be either plus or minus 0.5 centimeter. So if the value is 26 centimeter, so if you measure your value to be 26.5 centimeter, then you are right. Or you measure it to 25.5 centimeter, then you are right. Am I making sense?
Yes, sir.
What if you, okay, if I want to, for me to know that you are getting what I'm saying. If I have 26.0 centimeter, what will be my absolute error? Mm-hmm. If I have 26.0 centimeter, what will be my absolute error? I'm expecting the answer.
Okay. 26.5 or 25.5.
26.5 or
25.5.
25.5. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, it means we are yet to get this. You can't have 26.5. Let me break it down so that you guys will understand it better. When you want to know what we call your absolute error, absolute error, what you need to consider is what you are given. For example, if I give you something like when we started with 95.3 centimeter. You see, this one is the one decimal place. Abi, this thing could have been 95.25, or it can be 95.35. You know, if they round up this one to the nearest what, like to one decimal place, you have this one to be 95.3, which is the actual value, isn't it?
Yes.
And this 95.35, if you also round it up, you have this to become what is it called, 95.4. So if you look at the two, you get to see that the difference between them is 1. I see it now. So this particular what, the difference between them rather is 0.1. So if you have 0.1, if I had 0.1 to 2, it will give me 3. If I had 0.1 to this 3, it will give me what? It will give me 4. So you see that what happens between the approximation is just a difference of 0.1. So if the difference is 0.1, for you to know the what? The absolute error, divide it by 2, and that will give you 0.5. So if 0.5 is the what? Absolute error, just because what? What is it called? The approximate difference here is what? 0.1. So we have this one absolute what? Error to be 0.05. Therefore, if you measure a value to be something like 95.25 in centimeter, then you are correct. If you measure it to be something like 95.35, are you seeing it now? You are also what? You are also correct. Am I making sense now? So if you look at this now, you are adding what? 0.05 to the actual value, or subtracting 0.05 from it, just because it's in one decimal place. But if it is in whole number, that is 26 centimeter, you can either have it to be what? 25.5 centimeter, or you have it to be what? 26.5 centimeter. So if you look at this now, you see that because it is all number, so it's just going to be 1. It's not going to be 0.1. It will just be 1. Am I making sense now? Because if you approximate this one down, you are going to add what? 26 to the nearest what? To the nearest whole number. And this one to the nearest whole number will be what? 27. So if you look at the difference between 26 and 27, you just see that it is what? It is 1. So since the difference between them is 1, the percentage of the error there is going to be 1/2, which is going to be 0.5. Are you guys following?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you are following, you have understand how to get absolute value now. So absolute error rather, let me give you this. We're running out of time already. So let me say I have 26.0. This 26.0 can either be written as 25.95. I see it now. So if I want to turn this one to one decimal place, it will become 26.0. Or it can also be 26.05. So if I round this one up to the nearest what, to one decimal place, it will become 26.1, isn't it? So 26.1, 26.01, what's the difference between their two? The difference is 0.1. That is 0.1 minus 0. That will give 0.1. So if you want to know the absolute error, it's going to be divided by 2. That will give you 0.05. So the absolute error is 0.05. Are you following the way I'm getting my absolute error?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what if I have 26.07 in centimeter? 26.07 centimeter, what will be my absolute error?
26.02.
My absolute error, since this one is 26.07, this can be written as either 26.065, or you can write it as 26.075. If you want to, okay, let me put it like this so that you understand what I'm saying better. If you want to get absolute error, for you to get absolute error, if they give you a particular value, let's say they give you 26, and you're looking for the absolute error of it, just add 0.5 to it and do what? Subtract 0.5. Let me take it better so that you understand. I want to get absolute error. How do I get it? Because in some cases, you don't be given a number directly like this. Percentage error can come in different forms. The first way is what I'm trying to explain here. Let me explain it better so that you understand it. Because, now let's say you want to get what we call absolute error. For me to get my absolute error, let me say I'm giving a value of 26 centimeter. How do I get the absolute error if this is a particular measurement? What I'm going to do first is that I will add 0.5 to this and subtract 0.5. So just know that constantly plus or minus 0.5. Are you seeing this now? So if I had 26 plus 0.5, that will give me 26.5 centimeter. Am I right? And if I subtract, what is it called, 0.5 from this, I will have 25.95. Abi? Am I right?
So minus 0.5.
Yeah, if I take minus 0.5 from this, I will have what? 25.95. If I add 0.5 to it, I will have 26.5. Abi?
So you have 25.5 if you minus 0.5.
Okay, I will have what?
25.5.
Thank you, 25.5. Are you seeing this now? So,
Yes, sir.
for me now to get my absolute error, I will now say 26.5 centimeter minus 25.5 centimeter divided by 2. What will this one give me? That will be 1 over 2, Abi? And that will give me 0.5, isn't it?
Yes.
So my absolute error is 0.5. Okay, what if I give you 26.0? I want to get my absolute error. If I give you 26.0, so it's going to become what? Add 0.5 to this. That will be 26.0 plus 0.5. Abi?
Yes.
So that will give me
5.
26.5. Abi?
Yes.
26.5. And if I subtract what? 0.5 from it, I will have what?
25.5.
25.5. But you know this one is the one decimal place before. Abi? So because it's the one decimal place before, I want it to be in two if I subtract or add now, okay, this 26.5.0 rather. If I subtract 0.5 from me, I'm going to have 25.5, isn't it?
Yes.
But let me say I want to keep it in one decimal place. For me to be able to keep it in one decimal place, I will have this to be 25.95. Am I right? Okay, I'm talking about approximate value now. We are looking for approximate value now, and the other one is going to be 26.05. Are you seeing it now? 26.05, 25.95. So that will now be 26.05 minus 25.95 divided by 2. So this will give us what? 0.1 divided by 2, and that will be 0.05. So the absolute error here is going to be 0.05. And if I have to two decimal place, let's say 26.07, for me to have a number that I'm going to approximate to two decimal place, if I subtract 0.5 from this, I'll be having 26.065. And if I add 0.5 to it, I will have what? 26.075. Are you seeing it now? So if I take the difference, 26.075 minus 26.065 divided by 2, that will give me 0.05. 0.005 rather. Do you understand that now? So this is how to get what? Absolute error. Now, we can also get what we call absolute error in another way if you use what we call relative error. Or I say relative error. You can get absolute error in another way if you have actual measurements. For example, if I give you that the actual measurements, we are still on absolute error here. So if I give you that the actual measurement of something is, let's say, 10 centimeter. Are you seeing it now? And somebody now measure it to be 9.5 centimeter. Are you seeing it now? There is error now because the actual value is 10 centimeter. So if the person now measure it to be 9.5 centimeter, you are now going to say 10 centimeter, that is the actual measurement minus the what? The error. That will give you what? Is 0.5 centimeter to be the what? Absolute error. Do you understand that now?
Yes, sir.
So the next one is now relative error. Relative error is given as absolute error divided by actual value. So relative error of this one is going to be 0.5 divided by the actual value, which is 10. You therefore have 0.05. Are you following now? Then percentage error will now be relative error multiplied by 100. Do you understand that now? That is absolute error divided by actual value multiplied by what? 100 over 1. Is that clear now?
Yes.
So now we have to find percentage error. So let's look at the original question, then we answer that and call it a day, because we have spent more than the stipulated time here. Okay. So let's say I have okay, back to the question, sorry. So where is the question now? The question states that a student measured a piece of rope and found that it was 1.26 meter long. If the actual length of the rope is 1.25 meter, what is the percentage error? So if you look at this now, you are having that the error that the student made, that is what the student measure, is 1.26 meter. and the actual value is what? The actual value is 1.25. The actual value is 1.25. So we are looking for the percentage error. So the percentage error here is going to be the absolute error over actual value times what? 100 over 1. So the percentage error will now be absolute error. That means we need what? A positive value. So that will be 1.26 minus 1.25 divided by 1.25 times 100. So this will equal to 1.26 minus 1.25. What do we have?
0.01.
0.01 divided by 1.25. What do we have?
0.008.
0.008. So multiply it by 100. You have 0.8%. Abi?
Yes.
So 0.8% is going to be the value for the percentage error in measurements. Okay, so let's check if that is part of the option. So that is option D. Is that it now?
Yes.
Alright, so I think this is a good place for us to stop. So we'll continue from there in the next class by God's grace. See you guys by 4 o'clock where we are going to be having physics class. Thank you for coming to today's class.